What is going on, guys? My name is Taylor Stuber, and I'm here to break down this NBA Summer League slate on Draftkings.com. It is August 16th. Make sure you guys have the right day. But I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys are new here or haven't done so already, I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe, like this video, and then comment below with your favorite play of the day. Really helps out the algorithm, gets me more views, helps me grow our community. Of course, if you guys want my written content, my cheat sheets, my player cores, and player pools, make sure to join the Patreon linked down below, $25 for the rest of the month. That also includes NFL preseason. If you guys want to join the Discord, that is also free. That's going to be linked below and in the pinned comment. So yeah, appreciate you guys being here, but let's just jump right into it. That was really bugged. Anyways, if you guys would like to help support the stream, make sure to sign up and deposit on underdogfantasy.com using code Stuber, S-C-U-B-E-R. You get a free $25 credit straight into your account immediately upon depositing for the first time. And you guys can use that $25 to sign up for the Best Ball Mania to $1,001 up top. About 70% full, and I'm pretty sure they're going to run another smaller tournament moving forward. I have no idea if they actually are, but that's just like my inclination on things, and those have been fun to do. And that's with a deposit of any amount, so you don't have to deposit $100 if you don't want to. But of course, I think it is a great deal they are running over here. Not many fantasy sites really run deals like that anymore. Let's just jump over to the slate. Start with the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Phoenix Suns, the lowest over-under on the slate at 164.5. Suns are currently 1.5 point favorites. As we know, as we knew what was going to happen at the beginning of Summer League, Isaac Okoro and Evan Mobley are going to miss these last couple of games. They only wanted to play him a couple of these games and then sit them out for the remainder of them. They had a 9-man rotation in this last game without Isaac Okoro and Evan Mobley, so the rotation got much tighter. And obviously, these are the two most productive offensive guys on this team, so it's going to leave a lot of room to grow for guys like Lamar Stevens, Cabin Galley, Trevin Blewett. I really like Lamar Stevens. His price tag, is pretty skeptical for me, just because if you played him in regular season DFS, you know that he leaves a lot to be desired. But when it comes to Summer League, he is one of the better players, probably the best player on this Cleveland team. He played 27 minutes, shot 9 for 16, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. And he's been very good even in the games with Okoro and Mobley. So I would like to see him handle the ball a lot more in this game. And without Mobley, we're going to see Cabin Galley play pretty much all of his minutes at the 5 because they are pretty thin in the front court. We saw with Mobley, even in the game, they were splitting the 4 and 5 minutes because they wanted to get more looks with Mobley, with Cabin Galley. So Cabin Galley being closer to the basket is going to equal more opportunities for rebounds, putbacks, just because he's not really the highest shot volume kind of guy. So if he's closer to the basket, more chances for him to score, especially with Jaylene Smith on the other side of the team. They're going to need a big out there at all times, and I think Cabin Galley can be that guy for them, maybe see a couple more minutes in this game. But I think he's got a pretty solid floor for $5,000, like Cabin Galley quite a bit from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Move over to the Phoenix Suns. Jaylene Smith, he has been the beacon of consistency for both the Suns and in Summer League DFS, just in general. And this 8,600 price tag is actually something I think is too cheap comparative to all the other expensive players on the slate. You would imagine he'd be more in that $9,500 range, considering he's averaged 32.3 minutes per game, 16.3 points, 12.5 rebounds per game thus far in the Summer League. I see no different, unless we hear that he's going to sit for whatever reason. I still think that they just want to continue to see him grow and prosper offensively in these Summer League games. And this game should be no different at 8,600, one of my favorite players on this team. The other players on this team I'm not as interested in. Taishan Alexander at $6,000. We saw him finally get the start, but it led to pretty lackluster performances. But we know what the upside is for a guy like Taishan Alexander. If you've played, in-game showdowns, or if you've seen him in blowouts, Taishan Alexander is a super, super high volume scorer. He's going to be low single digit ownership, I would assume. But if he's going to start again and play 25 plus minutes, I mean, the upside is definitely there. Would not trust him if you're just playing one lineup. But if you're trying to get different, a guy like Taishan Alexander does carry a ton of upside today. And then Jaylene Smith, the other Jaylene Smith on this team, has been playing pretty big minutes recently, played 35 and 28 minutes in each of his last 2 games. So I think he's a decent play, but there's a lot of better plays on the slate as we move forward. We'll start with the Atlanta Hawks versus the New York Knicks. Get a bit of a higher over-under at 175. Knicks are currently 4-point favorites. We'll start with the Hawks. So Sharif Cooper missed last game after entering the health and safety protocols. Unsure if he will return, but I would assume his summer league days are done for this year. This Sharif Cooper, him being in and out is actually the biggest thing to monitor on this slate, in my opinion. Maybe outside of the Detroit guys and Emmanuel Quickley, but Cooper, he led the summer league in assists per game at 9 per game. So he was the main facilitator on this team, the main ball handler. And without Sharif Cooper that last game, we saw big games from Jalen Johnson, Skylar Mays, and Devon Akun-Purcell. Skylar Mays saw his assists go from a combined 6 through the first 3 games. So through the first 3 games, Skylar Mays only had 6 combined assists. And then in the first game without Sharif Cooper, he had 9 assists. So he had a huge uptick in ball handling responsibilities. Tied his team high or season high in minutes at 30. Scored 48.5 fantasy points. He kind of took over the role that Cooper was already playing in. So if Cooper is out, man, it's hard for me not to go to a guy like Skylar Mays. And actually, it's not even just Mays that gets a big boost. Devon Akun-Purcell and Jalen Johnson also saw their most shot attempts without it. So we saw it was just those 3 players, Johnson, Mays, and Purcell, play the majority of the game, and then they cycled in whatever the other 2 spots were, but it was those 3 players that were really benefiting from no Cooper being out there. I think all of them are A-tier plays for me. If they land in your lineup, I think that's great. You should feel great about it. I absolutely love those 3 players. Move over to the New York Knicks. So Emmanuel Quickley ended up missing that last game with a groin injury. So we're really going to have to monitor the status of Quickley. If he gives it a go, I think he will be a full go. I think he should give it his all, because I think Thibodeau is really, really trying to win these games in Summer League, because they were pretty disappointed. If you listen to what Thibodeau said after the first game, they were disappointed that they lost the game, and these guys have been playing massive minutes. So both these guys up top with Quickley to Obi Toppin should play massive minutes if they are to play. But if Quickley misses this game, like we saw last time, it's going to be Miles McBride as one of the best plays on the slate at 6,500. He started in Quickley's place. We've seen him play the most minutes off of the bench for the Knicks, and has been their most active player off of the bench. And he's been playing very, very well. And then he got the start, and he succeeded in those minutes. He played 33 minutes, putting up 23 points on 9 of 14 shooting. So very efficient shooting. Wouldn't necessarily expect that, but added 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, and 2 steals. So a massive game. And at 6,500, if Quickley's out and he's starting, you pretty much just have to play him. And then Obi Toppin, I think he's obviously a great play. He's been averaging 36.4 minutes per game so far through the Summer League. And then without Quickley, Quentin Grimes was able to play like he did in college. We've seen reports that playing next to Quickley and Obi Toppin, he's kind of struggled with knowing what his role is on the team, because he is known for just being the alpha scorer on the team. But without Quickley, he is able to go back to what he did in college. He led the team with 28 points on 20 shot attempts, averaging 33.2 minutes per game so far. So even if Quickley is playing this game, Grimes is a great play at 5,500 at the shooting guard spot. So yeah, I mean, I'm locking in Quentin Grimes regardless if he plays or not. But if Quickly is out, expect a massive game, or at least massive opportunities for Quentin Grimes. We know this New York Knicks team is the tightest rotation in the entire summer league. Over to the Detroit Pistons. Now, this is the other team that we really have to monitor. So they just sat out a ton of players last game. The biggest names being Cade Cunningham and Killian Hayes. Now, obviously, I make these videos kind of a bit later in the day just so I can get as much information as I possibly can into them. And so about 25 minutes ago, beat reporter Rod Beard mentioned that he believed that he doesn't have definitive confirmation that these guys are going to miss the game again, but he would lean that they do miss. So if we are going to see Cade Cunningham, Killian Hayes miss, Tyler Cook, I assume Tyler Cook misses just because Luca Garza is really fighting for this roster spot. And he's been playing very well. So assuming these guys miss, and Isaiah Stewart is obviously out for the summer league as well, I'm really going to be all over guys like Saben Lee, Luca Garza, specifically Luca Garza. You know, I played him at the beginning of the year because we heard reports that without Isaiah Stewart, that Luca Garza was going to play big minutes. And I knew that if he was playing big minutes, he was going to put up big fantasy scores. Unfortunately, Tyler Cook was grabbing the starts for him for Garza the first 2 games. He was very effective in those minutes, and then the last 2 games, Tyler Cook has been a non-play. So we've seen big minutes from Luca Garza in the starting spot, playing 25 and 26 minutes, putting up fantasy scores of 40 and 46.5 fantasy points. Obviously, he's a very good rebounder and very good offensively. The only downside to him in the NBA is his defense, but in Summer League, that really doesn't matter because you have 10 fouls. I mean, you could pretty much do whatever you want on the court. So Luca Garza at 5,900. I mean, if we're assuming that these guys are going to miss again, I would pay upwards of $8,000 for Luca Garza if I knew he was getting this many minutes. He's similar player to Tyler Sengun with his minutes and production in those minutes. So and people were paying $10,000 for him in the last main slate. So Luca Garza, a great play at 5,900, assuming that we get these guys to miss again. Jamaroko Pickett, I'm probably butchering his name, is only $4,500. He has played 33 and 32 minutes in the last 2 games. $4,500, it doesn't get much better than that. Littleson, a similar situation, but pretty reliant on his three-point shooting. So with guys that are so reliant on three-point shooting, you should expect something of you should expect him to have a pretty volatile scoring outputs on a game-to-game basis, but really focusing on Pickett, Garza, and Saben Lee. And actually, I misspelled Luca Garza's name in there. But we'll move on to the Orlando Magic. So yeah, I mean, you know what it is with this team. Jalen Suggs ended up spraining his thumb a couple games ago. He ended up missing the remainder of that game, missed last game, and he's going to miss the remainder of the Summer League. But even with that, the minutes are just so spread out on this Orlando Magic team. I mean, they've played upwards of like 13 players in these games. I just can't get to any of them, but I would not be the slightest bit surprised if we saw that Jalen Suggs misses the game and will be accompanied by guys like Cole Anthony, Wagner, RJ Hampton, you know, kind of these solidified guys on the roster just because it is later into the Summer League. So that's just pure speculation. I haven't really seen anything that would say that that would be the case, but you know, the fact that they've only been playing like 15 to 20 minutes a game makes it pretty likely that they are going to give it a go, just not play all that much. But if you guys want to know my thoughts on the second 2 games, the game notes are completely free. It's pretty much what I've said. The game notes for the rest of the games as well, all 5 of them, are up in the Discord in the free content tab. Now, mostly that is majorly being posted on the Patreon, but today I am posting that for completely free. So if you want to know my thoughts on all that, make sure to join the Discord. The link is down below in the description and in the pinned comment as well. Make sure to subscribe, like this video if you enjoyed it. I hope it helps you guys out. Best of luck tonight, and until next time, peace.